I was, one of my contacts sent me a video of Nick Saban, who's the head football coach at the University of Alabama. And he was wrapping up spring practice. He kind of delved into some discussions about performance. I thought I wanted to share with you this morning. So he said, in every human endeavor, there are 5 ways that people go about getting things done. 5 ways. He says the first way is they do it poorly. Maybe they haven't been trained, maybe they don't care, or maybe they just don't have God-given ability to do it. And he says the second one is average. He says, I think we all kind of know what that looks like, and he talked about that. And then he says it's good. And he said, and I'm glad he used the G word. Sometimes your coaches use other words, but he used the G word and said, and we hope that God would help us get to that good level and all the things that we do. Then there's excellence, right? Excellence. And then he had another one called elite, above excellence. So it was poor, average, good, excellence, and elite. And he talked about that if you want to get above average, get in those top 3 quadrants, you're probably going to have to do things a little bit different, right? You're going to have to work at it. You might have to use all of your God-given talents to get there. So a question for you. Where are you at in your faith in those quadrants? Where are you at? So I thought about that myself, and I thought, okay, well, how do I know where I am? Right? How do I know which one of those I fall into? Well, let's talk about that. So, if you prayed once a month, let's just take prayer. If you prayed once a month, where would that put you on that scale? I'm thinking poor, right? Not average, that's poor, right? Okay, what if you prayed every day? Thoughtful prayer once a day. Where would you be on that scale? Good? Average? So now we're starting to talk about expectations, right? That's what this is all about. Is okay, how about this one? What if you prayed twice a day, in the morning and at night, where would you be? I think you're good for sure. Maybe kind of getting very, Nick didn't talk about very good, but we'll put that one in there. So now you're kind of doing very good, right? All right, what about worship? You go to worship once a month. What are you? Poor. There we go. All right, how about serve? So then when you worship's pretty good. If you came every time, maybe it's a pass-fail test. But what about service to others? Giving of yourself to others. So if you did once a month, you went and did something to help others, what would you be on that scale? Once a month. Average or good maybe? No. It's kind of hard, isn't it? Yeah. Well, that's something called the normal person standard, like what a normal person would think would be like that. We've kind of just talked about what we think that is. Okay, now here's another. What would God think those standards are? Probably different than ours, right? Probably a little different. So it's kind of like setting those expectations. It's easy for us to overrate, I think, right? Until we put it in God's standards. It's kind of like they did a study a few years ago, and they asked people to rate their driving abilities. And 90% of people were excellent drivers. I'm not sure who all those bad drivers are out there. But I think in general what that really happens is most people are pretty good drivers. They just have some bad moments that we have to see. That's how I kind of see it. Or as my wife likes to, she likes to watch Bill Randy. And he rates the days, right? Like it's unpleasant, or it's beautiful, or it's horrible, right? Well, what if we rated our Christian days? How well we performed as Christians, right? So on Bill Randy's scale, I think we ought to be trying to be pretty darn good, right? But we don't think of those things when we come to ourselves and our faith. How did we follow God's path that day? Did we do a good job? And now, what about, did you have someone in your life, whether it be in the past or in the present, who held you to a higher standard? Who challenged you in your life, in your faith, your sports, in your work? They didn't let you get by with things. Maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a parent, a grandparent, a work colleague, a pastor, a friend. They knew you could do more, right? And they were just trying to encourage you to improve. Maybe they saw something in you that you didn't know. They may know you better than you know yourself, right? Those kind of people challenge you to get better. And I was very fortunate through work and through sports to actually be associated with some people that really challenged you, right? They made you almost uncomfortable every day about what their expectations were. They asked questions like, is that the very best work you can do? Is that the absolute very best you can do? Well, when people start asking those kind of questions, that's when the excuses come out. I'm kind of busy. I've got a lot going on. I've got other work I've got to get done. And a lot of my colleagues or teammates didn't want to be around those kind of people because they made them feel uncomfortable, right? And it's very difficult to set a high standard. It's tough, right? But these people didn't let you off the hook. They didn't let you slide, right? They wanted to see what you had and how well you could challenge yourself. So question, is God getting your very best? Is God, Jesus Christ, getting your best work? And if not, why not? I remember growing up, there was kind of a statement people used to say. They would say, God, country, and family, right? Remember that? I don't hear much about that anymore. You don't hear much of, I don't know what people's priorities are, but I don't hear a lot. I see self in there nowadays a lot. And I also see a lot of deflecting, right? Blaming others instead of being accountable. And it kind of reminds me of the spring sports. In track, they have both a team score and then they have individual events. And two of those events, the high jump and the pole vault, when the winner wins the event, they've already won the medal, what do? They keep going, right? Why do they do that? They've already won the event, why would they keep going? They want to win, they maybe break the meet record, they maybe beat the state record, the school record, the national record, the world record, or maybe just their personal best, right? So they're mentally tough enough that they win the event and then fail 3 times to end the event. Just think about that. So, when you think about yourself and your faith, are you trying? Most of the people here, I think, are. Most of you are in the good or elite or moving in that area. But could you do a little more? Could you keep vaulting? I think you probably could. So is God getting your very best work? That's the question I've been asking myself a lot. Is God getting my very best work? And if not, why not? So what would our excuse be to God why it isn't? What would be? I've been pretty busy. Sounds pretty, it sounds pretty lame, doesn't it? I've got a lot going on. Sounds pretty lame. I think a lot of people, I know, and I was there personally, you plug yourself into a high-speed lifestyle, right? A lot going on, so many things to get done. I'll never forget, there was a comedian I saw at the Leadership Institute, and she was busy, I'm busy, love you, honey, and she tried thinking, she just, it was so funny, we were just laughing out loud, and we all realized it was probably actually very accurate how some of us were acting, right? And the point is, I think we plug ourselves in a high-speed lifestyle, and it is easy to avoid making a faith commitment. We have lots of distractions away from it. Zig Ziglar was a motivational speaker, and he had in his sessions, he would hand out, it was like the size of a $50. It was a wood, like a wood coin. And it's called a tuit. It's called a tuit. And what the coin said around it was, get around to it. So the point he was making was, if you don't prioritize what's important to you, you're probably not going to get around to it. So on our faith, are we getting around to it? They did, I think we all, I know I did, had a fantasy that when the kids left home, I'd have so much more time that I could invest in faith, right? And that's true. I see people here that do that. So kudos to you. But the study showed through the Pew Institute, which has a whole research arm just on faith, shows that that's the time when many people quit going to church after their kids have gone away. They don't have a reason to go at that point. So, if you don't prioritize your faith, there's risk there. There's great risk. So, I would ask you to think about some things this morning. Do you want to be a pole vaulting Christian? Do you want to keep asking yourself to raise the bar a little bit? Sure, it's hard. So, question 1,440. Every person on the planet gets 1,440 minutes a day. No more, no less. 1% of that is just about 15 minutes. So if you spend 15 minutes a day on your faith, you can't count worship. Because pole vaulting Christians can't wait all week to get better. What would that place you on that scale of performance? What would that 1% get you at? Probably not that great. What about 2%? So 30 minutes a day. 2% is 30 minutes a day. A little prayer in the morning, a little prayer at night, maybe a little something in between there. Now you're getting there. Now you're getting toward, I think, what God would at least minimally expect from us on our faith. So, as we wrap up my sermon today, I just ask you to think about that. Think about those things. Think about your faith. What's your priorities? Can you be a pole vaulter and get in there and get better? The neat part is that you don't have to really be, like any physical ability. You don't have to be a brain surgeon, right? We all can get better at faith. We all can.